I've wanted to write a novel about bicycling for a long time. I've been an avid cyclist for over 30 years, and I love it. I've written some articles, but I really wanted to write a story about cycling. So along about 2011, there was a new thing coming into bicycling called the city bike. And with it, a lot more people were being hit by cars and trucks while they were riding their bicycles. So I decided to pursue that as the main theme in my book. Now, the picture that you see on your screen is a white bike. That was the result of this movement to try to reduce bicycle accidents and to make bicycling safer for bicycle riders. And this particular white bike that you're seeing is on the Minuteman Bike Trail, not too far from where I live, where a man in his 60s was struck and killed by another cyclist and killed. This kind of thing that we have to pay more attention to. We have to see people become more respectful and kind in their attitudes toward vehicles, whether they're in a car or on a bicycle. We all need to have greater respect for one another and for life. I'm standing on a busy street in Lexington, Massachusetts, and as you can see from this sign, this is a very narrow path for a bicycle to ride in, and dangerous, with the granite curb and the cars buzzing by on the other side. This is the kind of thing that we have to address. The bicycle is becoming a dominant form of transportation, equal to the car, and we have to make allowances for treating bicycles in the same way that we treat cars. I think Mass Bike is leading this in the state of Massachusetts with a number of programs for bicycle safety, of which I am helping and working with them. Our model is the town of Portland, Oregon, which has gone to great lengths to accommodate bicycle travel and has been named by Bicycling Magazine a platinum city for what it's done. That's the direction that we need to move in. That's an interesting question, because the book that you start out writing may not be the book that you end up writing. There's a lot of change possible as you explore the dimensions of what you have written, and that's a good thing. That's how it should be. So a book that I started writing was a book about bicycling, but what ended up being a book about not just bicycling, but the innovation in bicycling design and technology and business relationships that are necessary to form in order to come up with a complex product, whether it's a bicycling product or any other kind of product, the extent of innovation that occurs. And thirdly, what happens almost accidentally between people who see one another and meet one another and end up falling in love with one another. Things that we can't always understand or explain, even at the time that they're happening. But once they come into a matrix, like they did in Bridge Across the Ocean, you see how they're very deeply integrated with one another. One could not happen without the other happening, without the other happening, without the other happening. In 2011, I started working on a novel entitled Shift, a novel about bicycling, because I felt we could use a new novel about bicycling in the world. And then about a year later, a friend of mine was killed when he was run over on his bicycle by a dump truck. The driver went completely scot-free from this incident, and I was quite upset about it, and decided that I was going to change the focus of my book to bicycling accidents, and I renamed it White Bike, because a white bike is a symbol of where a bicyclist was killed. And that proceeded for a few years, and then I paid another trip to Taiwan. It must have been my fourth or fifth by that time, and I saw the Penghu Islands for the first time. And between two of the islands there is a bridge that is called the Bridge Across the Ocean, because it crosses the South China Sea, or the Strait of Taiwan if you prefer. And it became a symbol for me of what my bike book was really about, which was about a synergy between people and between cultures. And so I renamed the book Bridge Across the Ocean. What do 3 American cyclists, 2 Japanese business information thieves, and a Taiwanese businesswoman all have in common? Their interest in the spinner, the world's most innovative drive for the world's most revolutionary bicycle. At its core, Bridge Across the Ocean is a story of love. The love of bicycling, the love of innovation, and the love that grows between people and cultures.